Everyone, this is Mrs. Gonzalez Clark. Today we will be talking about expressions. We are going to evaluate expressions, and we are going to look at an expression and be able to put it in words so that we can get a better understanding of it and so we can solve it the right way. Now, solving expressions requires a certain method in which you need to use, and certain things within your expression should be solved in a certain order. The reason for that is pretty much so that when everyone encounters an expression, they are all on the same page and everybody solves it the right way following one method as opposed to everybody getting a different answer. So it keeps the consistency for when you're evaluating an expression. So we're going to start with this expression that's on the screen right now. And before we go ahead and evaluate it, we're going to read it, and I'm going to put it in word form so that we can understand what it is asking of us. So looking at it right now, we have 3/4 plus 1 and 25 hundredths divided by a third. So I'm going to write that in that way. Not so big though. 3/4 plus 1 and 25 hundredths divided by 1/3. Okay, great. So we were able to take that and put it into word form. Okay, great. So now we are going to evaluate this problem. Now, in order for us to evaluate this problem, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to concentrate on what is happening in these parentheses. Okay? So in the parentheses, as you see, we have 3/4 plus 1 and 25 hundredths. So we need to add those two amounts. However, we have two separate quantities that are in two different formats. We have a decimal number, and then we have our fraction number. But we know that fractions are decimals and decimals are fractions. What we need to do though is either or. We're either going to change the decimal into the fraction, or we're going to change the fraction into the decimal. In this case, I'm going to take the fraction and I'm going to turn it into a decimal number. So 3/4. Let's say I had a rectangle and I break it into fourths. Okay, we need to concentrate on 3 of these fourths because that is what's represented by the numerator. So I have my 4 equal parts here, and I need to see how much are 3 of these fourths equal to. But remember, we need to see how much it's equal to in a decimal number. So if I have 1 whole and I divide it into 4 parts, what decimal numbers are going to represent these 4 equal parts? Okay, so I'm going to think of this as a dollar, right? So if I had a dollar, we know that if we take a dollar and we cut it into 4 equal parts, we have 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents. Okay, so let's fix that because that was a little messy. Okay. Okay, 25 cents. So 4/4 is equal to $1. Now we need to worry about only three of those parts because the fraction is 3/4. So that means 25 cents and 25 cents and 25 cents, or 25 hundredths and 25 hundredths and 25 hundredths gives us 75 hundredths. So that means 75 hundredths is equal to 3/4. So that's what we're going to add 1 and 25 hundredths by. So let's line that up, because when we add fractions, when we add decimals, we have to make sure that everything is lined up. Excellent. So after we add these two decimal numbers, we are left with 2. Whole number 2. Now we're not done. Now, after we've completed what is inside of the parentheses, we're going to move to the outside now. So we're going to take that amount that we received from calculating the parentheses, and now we have to divide it by 1/3. So 2 divided by 1/3 is equal to what? Okay, so, sorry, just wanted to write that over. So again, let's do another visual to represent that. If I have 2 wholes, and I break them into thirds, into 3 equal parts, I have how many thirds altogether? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore, 2 divided by 1/3 is equal to 6. And that's our final answer. We evaluated the expression. So we took an expression, before we evaluated it, we put it into a word form. And then after we did that, we went ahead and we evaluated it following the procedure that is needed to solve a numeric expression. And we got our final answer of 6.